somebody commissioned me to design this, and once she saw, she nearly fainted because 15 years earlier than she meets me, somebody in her dream tattooed this design in her forehead, and 15 years later I designed it for her on physical reality. I was born into a family of 17 generation teachers. All of my parents, grandparents, and all the way up for 17 generations, they've been meditators. My mother would get up every morning at 1:30 and take a bath. At 2 o'clock would begin her meditation. By the time I was about 9, maybe a little bit younger than 9 months old, I would crawl to her and I would sit on her lap and I would claim that I was meditating. And I assume I have done enough of those every day that for me it looks like I never missed a day, but that may not be true. I was a meditator until 7th grade. In 7th grade, I was introduced to alcohol and smoking, so I went the other direction. And I continued with drinking till I went to university. In university, something clicked again, and I began to wondering, why did I meditate, but everything is gone now. But I wasn't doing anything about it till I became very, very sick. After my illness that's when I decided that the way I was going into alcohol and those kind of things was not okay for me. So I began to look into meditation again. And that is when I met Ophir and some other teachers that I had. But I basically spent the first 18 years of this study. I didn't do anything else, hardly ever work, but I just studied and studied and studied. 10 years I had a meditation room, and I spent in that, meditated 12 to 16 hours a day. And although the tattvas helped me a great deal, but the discovery of tattvas told me that if we set up our mind, we could achieve anything we want to do. So the tattvas and tattva mandalas is not only assist me to achieve what I have learned a little bit, but also had taught me basically we have a lot of knowledge inside. We just have to get rid of the patterns that they are blocking it so they could come out and become aware of them. So these two work together, and this is the creator of four. I have studied 8 systems, and every one of these systems has 2 sides. One of them is the inner work, and one is the outer work. The outer work would be like church, a mosque, going to a temple, going to a minister, a teacher, and he would tell you specifically what to do, and you will do that. So basically, all the Christian church and all the Muslim mosque and the Hebrew temples, they are based on that. Somebody would tell you what to do and you do it. So you really don't have much to say about which way you want to go. When the gurus came from the caves to America and to Western society, and they start explaining that you really already got, except you have a lot of craps that you have to clean up. So it was very interesting. At all of a sudden, people recognized they could do something about their own development the way they want to do it. And that's why everybody starts going to these gurus. But Christianity, the church itself, they have tremendous amount of material metaphysical and spiritual material, which I call the inner work or the mystical aspect of these systems. Sufis are from Muslims, then Kabbalah, Jews have Kabbalah, Christians have Rosicrucian gurus, the Hindus have the gurus and yogas, and so on and so forth. The Hindu masters discovered some 10,000 years ago that all things in the universe are made of 5 energies, and they call these 5 energies tattvas. And because they knew human beings, normal, average human being, cannot manipulate these energies consciously, they chose 5 geometrical shapes to represent these 5 tattvas. So therefore, each one of these 5 geometrical shapes represents a large set of information. These 5 tattvas are a ovoid, which is called akasha, a triangle, tejas, half moon, which is apis, a circle is called vayu, and a square, which is called prithvi. Now, after 10,000 years, the Western scientists also discovered that there are 5 universal energies. And they now agree that everything in the universe is made of these 5 energies. The first one is called space. Most people think when you go in space there is nothing there, but there is something which is called, for lack of information, because we don't know what to call it, we call it ether, quintessence, sometimes they call it hypercharge, but there is energy. The next one is tejas, which is electromagnetism. The next one is gravity. And the last 2 are the circle and the square. They are the 2 energies that they govern nuclear structure. One of them is called the weak force, and one of them is the strong force governing nuclear structure. The 5 tattvas are the basis, I call them my elements, are the basis of all the designs that I make. What I have done, I spent some 18 years combining these 5 energies with each other and made 25 combinations. And these 25 combinations I call tattvic figure. Every design, all the mandalas that I design are made of these 25 tattvic elements. Now, the tree of life was designed by Kabbalists some 3,500 years ago, 4,000 years ago, and it's a map of consciousness. It's a design that itself would help you to achieve enlightenment without a teacher, without any other assistance. The tree itself will do that. So what I have done, I have put the 25 combinations of tattvas on the tree of life instead of originally they had Hebrew letters and then they put tarot cards. Now I have used the tattvas. So by using this tree of life with the tattvas, from inside you would know what to do in order to go higher and higher in consciousness. The mandalas are categorized in 3 groups. The first and the most important one represents one's lifelong task. According to Kabbalah, there are 22 modes of consciousness that every human being must master in order to graduate from Earth school. These 22 modes of consciousness are represented by the 22 Hebrew letters, 22 major arcana of tarot cards, the 10 planets and 12 zodiac signs, and on and on and on. Now, every time a human being is born on earth is to master one or more of these modes of consciousness. So the Kabbalists designed a formula that I use with the horoscope of the person and decide which elements go into this mandala to represent what the person has come to achieve and be assisted by this mandala. So the mandalas would help you not only know what is your task, but also would help you to achieve your task in life. The Tattva meditation has 3 simple steps. The first step that you look at the design and long enough, 2 minutes, minute and a half to 2 minutes, and then you close your eyes and you see the after image with your eyes shut and you hold it as long as you can. Now, during the time that you are looking at the after image, that's when you are releasing the charges on the patterns that causing all the difficulties. You could also look at the designs when you're going by, or you could color them. Those are the other options. I used to actually have them on my glasses that I drank or on my plate that I ate. So you could do those kind of tricks for yourself. What I would like you to do, to look at this, and I will time you, but if the shape starts shifting or start getting blurry, then that's a good time to close your eyes. Otherwise, I will tell you when to close your eyes, okay? So begin to look at it. And when you close your eyes, please don't look around, just close your eyes. So the idea is when you close your eyes and you see the after image, the patterns that opposing these abilities, opposing your courage, opposing your ability to initiate, will come up and they will be discharged. In 1967, when I was very, very messed up and I thought I was a genius at the time, I had a friend named Sharon, and Sharon introduced me to a gentleman named Ophir. Ophir used to be a great metaphysician. And he looked at me and he told Sharon, my friend, that she was correct in her assessment of me. I was both stupid and very ignorant. But he thought that I was redeemable, that he could do something with me. So he was willing to help me, to teach me, but he was going to charge and I didn't have money. So he asked me if I would do a project for him. And I asked him for the project, and he gave me the 5 tattvas. And my job was to combine them and tell them what they mean. And that took 18 years. So my turning point was after I met really Ophir, and I became very, very involved with these tattvas. According to Kabbalah, there are 7 stages of development. The first stage is that when you look at things, know that they may not be accurate. They might be representing something else, which is often true. Like when you are pounding on a table, it sounds and you know it looks like solid, but every scientist will tell you there is no such thing as solid objects. Well, the 7th stage of development, going from 1st to 7th, is the last stage when a person becomes from a normal human being to a superhuman being, like a Buddha, like Christ. There is a simple test that I have come out with to tell you if you are getting closer to that state or you're going farther away from it. And the test has three simple words. Choose what is. Choose what is means everything that happens during the day and night for you, not only you agree with it, but have it be your choice. Enjoy going through that process. Enjoy going through those episodes and incidents. And if you could do that 24 hours a day, every day, you are a master. This represents gravity, or all the feminine qualities. Perception, sensitivity, intuition, psychic ability. So when you close your eyes, all the patterns that oppose in these abilities and these properties will come up and they will be discharged. So if you feel agitated, this will calm you down. If you have a person has a high temperature, that would also help you to bring their temperature down. I often am asked, is it possible for every human being to achieve godhood? My answer is not only it is possible, it is a must. Every human being must master the 7th stage of development, or the 22 modes of consciousness, and become Christ-like or achieve godhood. Now, most people think by going through the class, one class, or meditating 5 minutes a day, this is going to happen. It is not true. It's a long journey. It's require lots of care and study and watchfulness to achieve that state. But it is very possible, and it is absolutely required for every human being to do that. You work with these mandalas, you will need less and less time to look at them in order to see the after image. Now with your eyes open, look on the side on a white paper and see if you could see the image on.
I see it there.
Yes, you see? Now you could, with your eyes, you could move the after image around the paper. You could move it around. You know, sometimes at night, if you look at it, and if the room is white, the walls are white, you could look at it and then just move the image all around the room. According to Pythagoras was a genius, and he explained the totality of the working of the universe by a right triangle, which one side has 3 units, one side 4, and the last one is 5. So the hypotenuse, which is 5 units, represents the 5 kingdom, or the 5 kinds of beings that they live on earth. The first one is minerals, the second one is vegetable, animals, human, and superhuman. According to Pythagoras, everything begins from minerals, and they grow in consciousness and in activities, and they become vegetable, and then they become animal, and they become human, and they become superhuman. Next one is called the weak force governing nuclear structure. That means this is the energy that the electron have that helps them to trying to escape all the time. But it represents flexibility, communication, ability to look at something and have an idea of what it is very, very quickly. Fortunately, this achievement that I'm talking about is not only for Easterners and gurus in Himalayan mountains. We have masters all over the world. I have been with masters in America, in Persia, in India, in Mexico. So it's not one way or one system that could help you to achieve that. Now, in Western society, Nietzsche, Carl Jung, my most favorite person, these people very, very aware of what is going on, and they have a lot of material that would help people to do it. Here is the strong force that governs nuclear structure. This is what is the power that pulls everything toward it. In an atom, you have a nuclear which has this power and pulls the electrons toward it, and the electrons have the power which is called the weak force governing nuclear structure, which tries to get away. And then between this pull and push, the electrons start revolving around the nucleus. But this helps you with cohesiveness, with art, with being able to stay with it, stick-to-itiveness, determination, all comes from this design. So if a person doesn't have stick-to-itiveness or determination, by looking at that, all the patterns that opposing your determination will come up and they be released, and then you have determination. Okay, close your eye.
Ooh, green, yellow in the middle, blue at the outside.
All right.
Purple, I don't know.
Bluish purple.
Yeah, ooh, this green yellow is so strong.
All right. All right. Okay.
Now I will, I command it back.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, you could command it back several times. The reason that it goes away, there are you only got one screen that you could see the pictures on it. And if there is something more important to come on the screen, then this picture will go away and the other thing will come in. So you could always command the picture to come back and you could get it back. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now this is the most important tattva that we have. This is akasha, or hypercharge, or space. This is where this energy represents all the other four energies. All four energies come from this. Notice has corners to represent the square and triangle, and has circles to represent half moon and circle. So this is the original energy in the universe, which I call Godmother, or female energy. It represents comprehension, understanding, manifestation, actualization. So if a person having a hard time understand or comprehend, by looking at this and concentrating on the after image, then all the patterns that opposing one's comprehension will come up and they will be released. According to my study, there is something called intent. They are like fibers of intelligence that permeates the universe. And the way that it operates, it's seemingly assisting people constantly to grow up in consciousness. Some years ago, in early 50s, there was a man in India, his name was Yogananda. Yogananda was not known at all, but he was a great man. And the people in Philadelphia, in university, somewhere in Philadelphia, they want to invite somebody to come to U.S. and give some lectures, and they send it to Vivekananda, except by the time the letter got to India, Vivekananda had left Earth, so the mailman gave it to Yogananda, and Yogananda, against all odds, and he really didn't want to come, but his teachers talked him into it, to come to US. And the first 6 months, he would speak in English, but afterward the people had to translate what it was. So that's how the first guru got to US, and people started getting around him, and he started an organization called Self-Realization. And but basically it is this energy that continuously pushing people that they are getting ready to become more and more aware, and we look for this assistance from everywhere in the world. And America having enough money to invite people, that's the best place to go. So lots of Hindu gurus, Sufis, Buddhists, anyone who was anybody started going to US.